Thanks a lot, Mia.
Shit, asshole. No one likes a tuner here.
Hey, man, he was in my face.
I'm in your face. Green. I'm going for it.
The Fast and the Furious opens with an adrenaline-filled nighttime highway heist, where a group of skilled thieves in black Honda Civics execute a precision hijacking of a semi-truck loaded with valuable electronics. The story then shifts to Brian O'Connor, who is seen test driving a modified Mitsubishi Eclipse on a deserted track. After his test run, he heads to Toretto's Market and Cafe. While waiting for his order, he notices Dominic Toretto in the back. As Brian eats, a group of import street racers, friends of Dominic and his sister Mia, arrive. Vince, one of Dominic's close friends, grows suspicious of Brian's repeated visits and confronts him, leading to a fight that Dominic has to break up. Dominic warns Brian to stay away from the store. Brian returns to his job at the Racer's Edge, a local performance parts shop where he also lives in a back room. He tells his boss, Harry, that he needs a nitrous oxide system for his Eclipse and wants it installed that same night. After sunset, a large crowd gathers for an illegal street race. Dominic and his crew arrive, and Dom announces a race with a $2,000 buy-in. Brian has no cash, so he wagers his car instead, and the others agree to let him compete. Despite a rough start, Brian gains ground using his nitrous, even overtaking Dom briefly. But Dom, with his own nitrous system, retakes the lead and wins. Moments later, the LAPD responds to the illegal gathering, forcing the racers to scatter. Dom tries to hide his RX-7 in a parking garage, then flees on foot, but a police officer recognizes him. Before Dom can be arrested, Brian arrives, picks him up, and escapes, though Brian's Eclipse sustains heavy damage. Soon after, a gang of bikers led by Johnny Tran appears, demanding that Brian and Dom follow them to Little Saigon, Tran's territory. Tran accuses Dom of breaking their truce by encroaching on his turf. Dom explains that Brian is his new mechanic who simply got lost. Unconvinced, Tran's crew shoots at Brian's car, blowing it up in retaliation. With no ride, Brian and Dom take a taxi to Dom's house, where an after-party is underway. Vince, still hostile toward Brian, asks Dom why he brought the buster to the party. Dom defends Brian, saying he's the one who kept him out of handcuffs. As tensions rise, Mia steps in and invites Brian to the kitchen for a drink, hinting that her brother must like him, a rare occurrence. The next day, Brian is pulled over by an unmarked police car and arrested, only to be taken to a safe house. It is revealed that Brian is actually an undercover LAPD officer working with Sergeant Tanner and FBI agent Bilkins to investigate the recent truck hijackings. His mission is to infiltrate the street racing community and identify the culprits. Brian returns to Dom's shop with a Toyota Supra. At first, the crew mocks the car, but Dom recognizes its potential after inspecting the engine. They begin restoring it together, preparing for Race Wars, a major legal racing event. Meanwhile, Brian grows closer to Mia and asks her out, angering Vince. Dom later shows Brian his father's Dodge Charger and recounts how his father died in a crash caused by another racer. Dom reveals he assaulted the man responsible, earning a lifetime racing ban. Brian and Mia's date goes smoothly until Tanner calls, informing Brian that another hijacking has occurred. Bilkins decides to target Johnny Tran, believing him to be the prime suspect. The LAPD and FBI raid Tran's crew, but it's soon discovered that their electronics were purchased legally. This shifts suspicion toward Dom and his team. At Race Wars, Brian witnesses Jesse accept a pink slip race against Tran, despite Jesse's Volkswagen Jetta being no match for Tran's Honda S2000. Jesse loses and, panicked, flees the scene. Tran, furious, accuses Dom of tipping off the police and confronts him. Dom denies it, but after Tran brings up the raid, Dom snaps and beats him down. Later, Brian overhears Mia arguing with Dom and decides to tell her the truth, that he is a cop and that her brother might be in serious trouble. Brian and Mia leave race wars in the Supra to find Dom's crew before they strike again. Brian calls police dispatch, identifies himself as an officer, and requests a trace on Dom's cell phone. The crew is already in the middle of another hijacking, but this time, the truck driver is armed and fights back. Vince is badly injured, forcing Brian and Mia to intervene. To save Vince's life, Brian calls for an ambulance in front of Dom, exposing his identity as a cop. Dom is furious but helps get Vince to safety before leaving. Back in the city, Brian goes to Dom's house, but a drive-by shooting by trans crew kills Jesse. Brian and Dom give chase. During the pursuit, Brian kills Tran by shooting him as he rides away on a motorcycle. Later, Brian finds Dom waiting at a red light. Dom reminisces about racing at that spot in high school and notes that the upcoming railroad crossing is exactly a quarter-mile away. The light turns green, and they race, barely beating an oncoming train. Dom then crashes his Charger but survives. Instead of arresting him, Brian hands Dom the keys to the Supra, allowing him to escape. In the post-credits scene, Dominic is seen in Baja, Mexico, driving a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS.